This year, during this ordinary time, from Sunday to Sunday, we've been invited to look at various sins and virtues. That's been kind of the theme for these ordinary Sundays. And the theme, of course, this evening has to do with pride and humility. And it's that invitation for us to truly be humble of heart, to be humble of spirit, and the challenge in doing that. And that interesting parable that Jesus gives about the individual who takes the higher place at the table and then has to go to a lower place, as opposed to the one who is invited from the low to the high. And whenever I read that particular parable, I'm reminded of something that happened one time for me. It was several years ago, and I was working with Archbishop Kelleher at the time, and there was going to be a banquet, and the Archbishop said, Tom, I want you to sit up with me at the head table. And I said, well, Archbishop, I'm going to be late for that because I have a previous engagement, and I know I'm going to be late for that meal, so that's probably not a good idea. And he said, no, I want you to sit up there. He said, I will save you a place, and I want you to be up there in the front. And I said, okay. So I came in late, as I knew that I was going to, and I came in, and the head table was way at the far end, and I walked in, and right away I saw some people that I knew, and I stopped to talk to them for a minute, and there were a couple empty places there, and they said, hey, Father, you want to join us? And they were at the very back of this banquet. And I said, no, I tell you, I've got to go up there. The Archbishop invited me and told me to go up and sit with him, so I'll go up there. So they said, oh, okay, you're going to be with the big shots. Okay, so I thought, all right. And so I go up and work my way through the whole banquet and get up to the front, and there's the Archbishop. No empty chair. And so I very sheepishly turned around and worked my way back and went back to join my friends. And of course, I took some ribbing, which was good for me. And I learned a very important lesson. Never trust the Archbishop. No, that's not true. That's not the lesson. Those moments of being humbled, though, are good for us. They're healthy for us. They're healthy because they teach us a little bit more about reality. Humility is really about reality. It's about being real rather than being inflated. It's about recognizing who we really are. You know, that word humility comes from the Latin word humilis. And humilis means dirt. That's what it means. It means dirt. It's the earth. And to have humility means to be in touch with the dirt, with the earth, with the reality, rather than being somehow so super inflated with ourselves that we think we're above that. And so humility is that virtue of honesty. First of all, it's not a virtue that calls us to denigrate the talents or the abilities that we have. We're not called to self-denigration or to humiliation. That's not the virtue of humility. But rather, humility calls us to honesty and a recognition of who we really are and of the fact that we all need other people. That sin of pride is really a delusion. It's an illusion that is there, because the sin of pride makes us think that we are the center of the world. Everything revolves around me. And the world is supposed to revolve around me and my desires and my wants. That's the sin of pride. Or it's expressed in those attitudes of, I'm a self-made person. I did this all by myself. One of the most disappointing talks I ever heard was from a CEO, a founder of a company. It wasn't a large company, but nevertheless successful company. And he gave this talk about his experience of being the CEO of this company in which he had many employees. But he never once mentioned his employees. It was all about him. It was all about, I did this, worked all these hours, I did this, It was all about his illusion that his success was just due to him. None of us is successful just on our own. Ultimately, all of us are gifted. We're gifted with life itself from our parents. We are gifted with the abilities, the talents, the genes that we have. We are gifted with this body, with our intelligence. We've been gifted with people throughout our lives who have nurtured that, teachers and others who have formed us and who have enabled us to learn and to develop skills and talents. We're gifted by individuals who have mentored us as we've gone through this life and taught us how to be successful, how to move forward. There is no such thing as the Horatio Alger story. None of us is self-made. We are also tremendously gifted. It's humility to recognize our giftedness and to live with a sense of appreciation. And that really is the best virtue to counteract pride, is gratitude, is being grateful. To think about the blessings that we have, to think about people who truly have made our life possible, those people who have stood with us, those people who have challenged us and facilitated us, to be grateful. And to be grateful for God, for none of us is self-made. None of us saves ourselves. It's only through that grace of God. All of those things call us to humility. And so that spirit of gratitude is so important for us to engender within our lives. And certainly as we continue to grow and mature, being grateful is one of the greatest blessings we can have. You know, every week we gather together for the Eucharist, and the very word Eucharist in Greek means thanksgiving. We always come to give thanks. We don't come primarily to ask for more things, as we come to give thanks to God, who endows us day in and day out, the Lord our God, in whom we live and move and have our being. How blessed we are, and how grateful we are called to be.